Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and hi, I am Ainu Zaira, and today me and my group mates Azri, Fatin, Irina and Nashra will be presenting about our group project Colorism in Malaysia, Inequality and its Islamic Perspective. Before we actually begin, let's take a look on the agendas that we have today. I will be presenting on the introductions part. Firstly, in order for us to dive deeply into this topic, let's take a look on the surface area first. What is colorism? The literal definition of colorism is the prejudice or discrimination, especially within a racial or ethnic group, favoring people with lighter skin over those with darker skins, according to the Cambridge Dictionary website. The concept of colorism describes how people in a minority group are treated differently because of their lighter skin tones, while darker skin tones are often looked down. However, despite living in a multiracial country, colorism is a thing in Malaysia. As mentioned by Arif in 2017, some reasons that contribute to the existence of colorism in Malaysia are due to the cognitive biases and the inherent white supremacy that date back to this country root as a colonized country. To add on, Malaysians already live in a Eurocentric world where the Western media indirectly dictates and influences the people's thought as well as the local media. At this point, some may overlook that colorism is not a serious issue because of how we were brainwashed and colonized. We live in a society that sets the beauty standard for everyone to be white or have fairer skin tone in order to be considered as pretty, while darker skin tone is ugly or not attractive at all. This can be proven by a new Straits Times article in 2016. The article reported that the craze for fair skin has unfortunately been aggressively marketed, with retail outlets stocked with skin whitening formulas indicating that this country is literally obsessed with getting fair skin or lighter skin tones. Fortunately, there are some voices bravely trying to speak up to educate others about this phenomenon. For example, many found it discriminating and unnecessary for the actress in the Dayang Senandung drama to do a blackface in order to portray Dayang Senandung's character in the 2020 version of the drama. As a sign of disapproval, there is an online petition calling for the production of Dayang Senandung's drama to be halted was created. This issue sparks a hope for Malaysians to embrace the negative concept of colorism, even though it is hard to be implemented in everyone's mentality. Overall, many found colorism and racism often related to each other, and it cannot be denied that both concepts do carry the same definition as of prejudice and discrimination. Racism is more constructed based on the ethnic origin, while colorism is solely based on skin color differences. Nevertheless, the term colorism may sound new to most of the people in this country, but the act of the discrimination is still ongoing to this day. That's it from me. Now I will pass this floor to Sister Fatin.
There are 4 objectives to be achieved in this project, which are to review the mistreatments towards the dark-skinned people, to investigate the current issues regarding the topic, to identify the challenges to solve the issue, and to understand the Islamic views on the colorism issue.
Now, let's talk about the overview, shall we? We conducted a survey via Google Form to analyze how dark-skinned people are mistreated in Malaysia. Now, we asked several general questions as well as experiences to the respondents. We also did some survey towards the online research articles related to these issues to support. Now, as you can see, here's the data asking that which of the following do you think colorism issue occurs the most? Now, surprisingly, the first one that obtained the highest one, which is about 76.7%, that is 23 out of 30 respondents stated that colorism happens in daily basis. Now, this is because we live in a society that judgmental always happen, and you tend to be judged when you are unique, or should I say different from the society. So in this case, dark-skinned people. Now, sadly, they say that surprisingly they experience it from their close friends, family, relatives, and as well as their mutuals. Now, as you can see, we are tending to normalize, to joke about dark-skinned people and accepting the stereotypes. Now, this is not good. Young states that change starts from home. Racism isn't natural, but a learned thought process that passed down from one generation to another. So that is why it is very dangerous to normalize and even stereotyping dark-skinned people perceptions. So gradually it encouraged people to accept about this issue and take it as a very light matter. Moving on to the second data that obtained the second highest, which is workplace. Now, about 20 respondents agrees that colorism happens in workplace. Now, let's take a look on the issue on July 13, 2020, where Member of Parliament Dato Seri Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahim made an offensive remark that causes an uproar in the House towards Member of Parliament Kashturi Rani Prato. Do you know what he said? He said that gelap tak nampak pakai lai pedak tiada masalah. Now that is a very sensitive remark, you know, and because of that incident, Member of Parliament Kashturi Rani decided to give a food for thought. I soon realized that my academics nor my personal achievements matters. At the end of the day, my worthiness is based on my skin color. That's deep, isn't it? And sad, but that is the sad truth happening in Malaysia. Now, moving on to the third one, which is services. Now, about 56.7% agrees that colorism occurs the most in services. Now, Babani states that this usually happens a lot in housing markets. If you notice, especially in KL, there are several banners hanging around in the rental area and stated that tuan rumah dilarang menyewa kepada orang N-word. You do know what the N-word means, right? Now they specifically targeted to the African who lives in Malaysia. So this is because of the stereotype saying that Africans, they consider look like gangster and do not bring a peaceful, harmonious environment to a community. So that is one bad stereotype too. I mean, out of all foreigners, why Africans? Is it because of their skins? It's a good question to think. And last but not least is miscellaneous, which are military and school. Now, the data obtained is about 13.3% and 3.3% respectively. Now, these are based from their personal experience. The respondents stated that their experiences from their peers about their dark skin matters, like they got jokes about it, mostly jokes by their peers, and they felt pressure, and because of that they traumatized until now. Even though it happens during their military and school years, they still remembered about it and felt sad and hatred towards it. So you can see that even from school, even from military, even from your peers, it can give a bad impact towards dark-skinned people because they felt insecure and felt pressured being around society, because thinking if they are accepted or not in the society. So that's all for the overview. I'll pass down to the fourth thing to be presented, which is the contemporary issues. Thank you.
Next is contemporary issue. But colorism is not a new issue. In fact, it was a very long issue that claims white is better than black. However, although the issue is an old issue, it still happens nowadays. On 4th of September 2021, a group of cosmetic called Jerung Merah Squad went viral on social media after one of the members, Nurul Ainuddin, age 22, got criticized because of her dark skin color. Taken from Muhammad Izzat 2021. The squad is already making a lot of videos to promote their beauty product that can whiten the skin. Well, this issue should not happen. Well, even Ain had to state that she joined the cosmetic group because she wants to find some extra money to help her family. Another two issues, well, there was an advertisement from Watsons and a music video from a musician named Hurin. Both of them was related to colorism, and having fair skin is what the commercial is based on. Taken from Suresh 2021. The advertisement and the music video were forced to be taken down immediately. Unfortunately, colorism isn't only in advertisements and music videos. There is a lot more happening, and it is very disappointing that things like this happen to people.
3 challenges faced to solve the issue are: society perceives it as a joke, media does not play the role to represent the dark-skinned individuals, and Malaysia itself promotes color-biased beauty standards. First, society sees it as a joke. It is oftenly heard people telling dark-skinned individuals harsh jokes like they cannot see them in the dark except for their teeth. They also say things like, "Oi, if we just disappeared, it is just a joke lah, chill. I'm also Malay, it's not racism. Abang is getting darker now, eh? And you're so black, I can only see your teeth in the dark. I'm gonna call you black from now on because you have a very dark skin. Those certain individuals think that it is okay to joke about people's skin colors or may simply turn their back from the fact that it is really not funny to say such offensive jokes. And what's most saddening is that this problem happens not only at home but also in schools, whether national or international schools. And this is a very worrying situation because the so-called jokes are actually negatively affecting those individuals on how they see themselves. They are constantly found that they will never be enough. And secondly, the media does not represent all skin colors, whether in mass, printed, or social media. The advertisements that promote the beauty of people with darker skin is insufficient, and they are now rarely exposing the audience to a diverse representation of skin colors, especially to the children. And apart from that, they seldom help to acknowledge dark skinned individuals. To make the matter worse, they even exhibit colorism elements like Fair and Lovely and Watson's Legenda Jun Raya commercials, and this advertisement somehow emphasized the idea that being white is the key to success. And thirdly, Malaysia promotes color bias beauty standards. The mentality of Malaysians to judge the book by its cover, making them think that the dark-skinned individuals are always ugly, are always bad. And it is reported that it is because the darker skin is always associated with the poverty in Malaysia, and this resulted in the extensive use of skin bleaching products all across the country. And parents always use the wrong teaching method to the children, which are to usually by threatening the children. Typical Malay mom would say, "Do not play outside too much, or you will be black like that person, and no one's gonna befriend you anymore." It causes the children to view the undesirability of having darker skin.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Nur Nasha, and now let's look into the Islamic perspective on inequality. The relationship between inequality to the Islamic perspective dates back to the olden days. To start off, as we know, the Arab and Middle Eastern community has always been very symbolic to the religion of Islam. Like even we can see that a person with Middle Eastern features are more often portrayed as Muslim, especially in the media. This is due to two reasons. Many significant sites of Islam is located in the Middle East. For instance, the location of one of the most sacred places in Islam, which is the Kaabah, our Qiblat or direction of prayers for Muslims worldwide, is in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Other than that, places located in the Middle East like Mecca and Medina are the center of most stories in the Quran. Due to these circumstances, there is such thing as a mindset or worldview labeling Arabs as the more superior Muslims. This enforced inequality among Muslims and those of different ethnicities is treated differently, when in reality the religion of Islam is whole or shumul and is for everybody of various backgrounds. Here are some evidence that Islam is a fair and equal religion. First, let's look into Sahih Hadith Bukhari and Muslim, a hadith that rejects inequality. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "O people, your Lord is one, your father Adam is one. There is no favor of an Arab over a foreigner, nor a foreigner over an Arab. And neither white skin over black skin, nor black skin over white skin, except by righteousness have I not delivered the message." This clearly shows the equalness of Islam and how it embraces and celebrates all races and colors. Last but not least, the Quranic verse on inequality is from Surah Ar-Rum, verse 22. Allah said, "And among His signs is the creation of heavens and the earth and the difference of your tongues and colors. Surely in this there are signs for the person having knowledge." Allah created us of different languages and skin colors, which means we are all equally His servant, and righteousness is the only degree of measurement of a person. Thank you. That is all from me. I will now pass to the next presenter to conclude the presentation.
Lastly, for conclusion, colorism shouldn't even exist in the first place. Inequality is both contrary to Islamic teachings or human rights, and an individual shouldn't experience criticism, teases, jokes, comparison, body shaming, or anything related to that individual's skin color. In fact, people need to change how they see darker skin tones as ugly, and the perceptions need to change. Everyone needs to embrace darker skin tone, especially in the media, beauty product sector, society, family, and individuals. That's all from us. Thank you.